Hey, Podcast America. Welcome to episode 80. Are we 88? Are we even allowed to say that number? 88?
Are we
88 or 89?
Because we're one behind.
We lost one. There's a lost episode.
We're in the 80s.
Yes.
Almost 90, just like your grandma.
Almost 90, that's right. Yeah. Enlightened Neanderthals podcast, and it's brought to you by my company, Training Northwest, which you can find at trainingnorthwestllc.com. We have a pistol fundamentals class coming up February 15th, which may have come and gone by the time you guys hear this because it's right around the corner. And I have a carbine fundamentals class coming up in June. There are a few open spots as reservations have dropped off in the rifleman camp. Those will sell out eventually, so grab that up if that's something you're looking for. And today, a little more serious topic, not that we ever stay serious for too long, but we're talking about plant medicine and spiritual healing and a little bit of my own journey. We didn't get too deep into it, but it was a good first time to kind of skim the surface a little bit.
We did a war on drugs, but we never just talked about kind of medicine and journey and what doing drugs.
And even like an interesting rabbit hole to go down sometime is why were psychedelics classified as Schedule I substances in the 70s? We're in the intro right now, so that'll be another episode for another time. And I said it at the end of the episode, and I want to say it again here. If you guys listen to this and this is something that you're interested in, or you have questions, or even if you just feel like this hit close to home and you need to talk, you can reach out to me at trainingnorthwest@protonmail.com. All right, guys, enjoy the episode. I feel like we need to join an Elks Club or like an Eagles Club or something.
A gentleman's club, you mean?
Hi-oh-hi.
A gentleman's club.
What are it was like the old TV shows that they were doing that, right? Like Happy Days or something, and one of the dads was part of the Elks Club.
Yeah, that's always
or
been.
the
Shriners.
Shriners. That's
Shriners.
the one, yeah.
Remember in the parades as a kid, the Shriners
Yeah,
would
they'd
come
ride
through in their little
Honda
go-karts.
motorcycles. Yeah.
What is it?
The Shriners?
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit hospital.
I'm pretty sure it's a drinking club for old white guys.
That too.
Well, it's a nonprofit hospital.
I think so.
Interesting. I never would have made that connection. I was just like, these guys wearing funny hats like a boo.
Yeah.
Like a monkey. I'm just like, what are they doing out here,
think
dude?
about that for a sec. Yeah, you're right.
And then like the Shriner, because there's the Shriners golf course. And I always thought that was like members only private, like Shriners. Like, you had to be part of it. I just had no clue.
I did my hunter's education at that Shriners golf course.
What?
Yeah. That's where I had to
take out to the 8th hole.
Yeah. I'm picturing Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
Yeah. Now see what you want to do.
Kill a varmint.
You don't want to carry.
You gotta think like a varmint.
Yeah.
Varmint Kung.
No,
Oh
I did it there. It was a nice facility. I've never been there, but they also host fights
and weddings
stuff.
And shit. Yeah.
Fights and weddings and shit.
Yeah. Sometimes
Dude, it's a pretty good
sometimes
business
it's the same
plan.
event.
That's a great name for a venue. Fights and weddings and shit.
Fights and weddings.
And shit.
And shit. It covers everything.
I don't know, dude. I think that would be one of the most like lucrative passive incomes to have. No, just if you had like property with the fucking wedding venue on it, or just a venue on it.
No, fuck that. How much does the Shriners make? Like the Eagles, the Elk, like all these, the Freemasons, there's tons of clubs that have been around forever, and it doesn't mean I said Freemasons and you laugh because you think it's like
no. I'm laughing because the Eagles Club or the Eagles Club, what is it, the EOL or EO something? EOA.
EOA, Eagles of America.
Yeah, so in Kirkland there was, and I think it's been long enough, in Kirkland there was a mural on the side of it.
Oh yeah, always.
And it was a Seahawks, but it was like a memorial, and it was a Seahawks thing. And my buddy moved up here from Texas, and then or by way of California, and
allegedly,
he's a fucking diehard Cowboys fan. And when like he saw it at night, didn't realize what it was, and was like, "Oh fuck this," and went back there and like spray painted over it and tagged like fucking Seahawks suck, go Cowboys, or something, just something stupid in black.
Allegedly.
Possibly this is something he did. He went back there the next day to show some buddies, like, hey, come check this out. And they were like, "That's a fucking memorial, you asshole!" And it was just like, like Bob such and such, like 2007 to, or 2000 whatever, I don't know.
Team Pride ones,
1954 to 2007.
There we go. A little happier.
Yeah.
So what is the Eagles? I didn't know the Shriners was a hospital. Tobin, what other associations?
Eagles and Elks, I think, are just clubs.
They're just
drinking clubs.
Yeah, it's
no windows, and I think that's what they.
When did they?
How they like
it's got to be like a post World War II thing, or
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
go old.
You have like you have the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW. You have Eagles Club, Elks Club. What else do they have? They have.
What's the difference between Eagles and Elks?
I don't know. I think they're all just
Probably like airmen.
it's
and
such
what I remember growing up is that like members of the Elks Club, like if your grandparents were members of the Elks Club, they would go do like bingo on Friday night, and then like Wednesday night would be like $3 spaghetti night or something like
community
that.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like a
And then you
community
could take
center.
your like trailer to the other Elks Club and park and shit.
I don't think there's trailer parking.
No,
Yeah,
no.
and I think
I
it's
thought
like
there
you
was,
can go get like cocktails on Saturday.
Yeah,
early bird
they have
special
bars.
cocktails.
Yeah,
and then they close it down about 7 p.m. Get home at a reasonable hour.
Early bird. It is weird that there are clubs like that, and people. I guess
It was
our
such a
gym is
thing
a
that-
club too.
And they're
though,
always like a
that.
shitty cinder block building that's in pretty rough repair.
Yeah. Well, like I said, no windows in the front, so you
Yeah.
can't tell what time it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
don't want-
shag carpet from the fucking 70s in there.
Cigarette burns.
Yeah. Memories.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be awesome if you had a club like in the city? Wouldn't it be awesome for it to just look like a shithole on the outside, but it has that like that scene in movies where they have that sliding door.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
knock
and
on
just
the
the
door.
eye pops.
Dude, I
open.
think you've been watching Night at the Roxbury. too
I
many
know,
times.
Jordan. 1 second.
Yeah. You gotta
But
know.
that would be cool to have. But then inside, it's lavish and lush. It's just how you want it to be. That isn't that camouflage
Yeah.
for
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch of guys that are wearing.
I've done electrical work in Amazon buildings in the like the Georgetown area that from the outside look like shitty warehouses, and then when you walk in, all of a sudden you're in like a very modern, recently, expensively redecorated lobby.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? And there's extensive protocols like for security to get badged in and whatnot. And then you have to have an escort walk around with you. So there's a lot of that in plain sight.
What you need is good camouflage, though. Like, if you could.
Like the Predator?
No.
What are we talking?
I'm having a revelation here. Urban camouflage is something I've never paid attention to or thought of. But at this moment, I'm thinking, like, if you had. Think of like a trash can, right? You just hunker down and you have it like a Halloween outfit, but then you stand up. Say it's made of cardboard and you have a hat like a Chinese, rice field hat
Yeah,
or
I
a
was just thinking
Vietnamese
that.
rice field
Yeah.
hat.
You're talking Oscar the Grouch.
I was going to say, if you're trying to hide on Sesame Street,
Yeah.
this is the perfect outfit.
No, but you could be in that. You hunch down. You're a trash can. Just the way you have like a
I know what we're doing for Halloween.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But you could pop up.
You just dump
That's
a body.
urban camo is cool because there's you feel like
What if someone tries to
Optimus
dump a body
Prime
and you-
coming alive out of a trash can. But urban camo, I think this is actually a good idea.
I saw a little reel, and it was a guy who was like, "Oh, this is how I don't get mugged at the bus stop," and he like just bent over like he was high on fentanyl. And just
Yeah.
like you're like, oh,
Dangled.
yeah, just dangled there. It's like, oh fuck,
Goddamn.
smart. Yeah, haven't you seen Zoolander?
Oh yeah.
That was the whole deal. It was urban camo, dressed up
yeah.
like
No, that was
garbage man.
No, that was the fashion line. That was called Derelique.
Yeah, but remember they
Yeah.
dressed up like maintenance men
They're
to get
against my
access
balls.
to the building.
But I mean, don't be a person. Be a thing.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
A trash can can be anywhere.
There is a competition.
Confucius said it.
There's like a hide and seek competition that's like that. And people fucking do crazy competition.
Yeah.
And they send in like search, like professional search guys to go try and find them. And they'll put a bunch of makeup on and like hide from them.
Interesting.
Dude, you see those videos of the guys that paint their face to look like the brick or stone wall they're
yeah.
standing in front of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a dirt pile. And they just, that's pretty crazy.
Dude, your head just looks like you paint it to look like the front of a Tesla bumper. So anywhere you go, you can just
Sit down.
lay in front of it. Where'd he go?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Camouflage. Think about it.
Mike's going to be in the spray booth painting his fucking body. High gloss.
Forever. I'll keep this for a couple of years till it peels.
So what's been going on, boys?
Just living life. We're already taking off on this show. Do you guys want to talk about plant medicine?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're both like, yeah. Well, then we started talking about completely different shit.
Well, that's why.
That's how it
that's the
rolls.
intro, dude.
Can't be too serious. Yeah, I'm game. I'm not by any means an expert, but I'm someone who has definitely benefited over the last 2.5 years. I think it has been. August of 2022 is the first time I went to a veterans ceremony, and it was using heart medicine, which is MDMA and psilocybin mushrooms one night, and then ayahuasca the second night. And it was kind of fucking like it absolutely
That's a
changed
one.
my perception of life and reality. And it didn't happen all at once. I guess I would say that as I was driving home from it, I just had this feeling of knowing that while I did not understand how, everything had changed. And so that was sort of like the first step in a long process that I don't think it's over yet. Just like life or just like jujitsu, or you're not there. You're not at the finish line ever. You're just where you're at.
Yeah.
But it has definitely changed the trajectory of my life, and I would say for the better.
Yeah. What do you like the best? Had you done anything before?
No, I mean, I had smoked pot and eaten mushrooms a little bit in high school, but you don't understand
It's different. hanging
sort of
out
like
with
the
your
medicinal
relation.
qualities or properties of the mushroom. Yeah, it's a completely, because the intention you set into it also matters. And so when the intention is, hey, I'm out in the orchard with my buddies and we're just trying to get high and have some fun, then that's what you do.
Yeah, like Robitussin.
Crystal meth.
Yeah, he's a for cold.
But that first ceremony in 2022, one of the things that really like sort of cemented to me that this is real is the first night. I remember the guide, the guy who does this and is sort of there for you during the ceremony. He had us wear masks the entire time. The idea is so that you are within yourself and not letting whatever somebody else is doing sort of
Like-
interfere in your experience.
Okay, so like deprivation mask kind of thing.
Not just literally the same
just-
shit you would wear on an airplane.
Yeah,
a
but not,
good trip,
no, that's
you-
what I mean. Just for your vision, not like masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you can-
Exactly.
Go inward, you need every external thing. Like if there's less sound, less visual, less feel,
up to the other senses, right?
yeah, you're just, oh, cool. I'm left with thinking, but now I'm tripping.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, it's anywhere.
Yeah, and I think this is a group that's open to all veterans and first responders. But just by chance, this particular weekend, all 13 guys in the room were prior special operations guys, and so we had sort of a common bond there. And that first night, and he plays music too. So he's playing music. It's pretty loud, and he was playing some real like primal, like war drum based, boom, 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 boom. And I could feel everybody around me, and I could feel them like pulsating with the music. And I was like, I have to know what's going on. And so I lifted my mask, and I was looking around the room, and I could see. First of all, I couldn't see anybody's face. All I could see was a war mask that everybody was wearing, and everybody's war mask matched their heritage. Like if
I remember you were talking about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And above us, I could see this. It was like a...
You mean if he had an Asian like a samurai mask, he was
Yeah, like the guy
Japanese
sitting next to me was Mexican, and he was wearing like an Aztec warrior looking ensemble deal with bone through his nose and everything. And then directly across from me was another ranger who was like Norse, like Swedish or Norwegian by lineage, and he was wearing it was like a leather and riveted like berserker style helmet thing.
Yeah.
And then looking around the room, everybody's masks matched their heritage. And so then above us all, I could see this like, it was almost like a snake that had no tail or head. What?
I was just thinking like there was a French guy and it was
There's
just
a
the back
French
of a head.
He had a vagina.
Sorry.
He was crying in the corner.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Shit. What was I saying?
Berserker.
There was like this. There was this thing above us all, and it was like I said, it was like a snake that had no head or tail, and it went around above all of our heads because we're seated around the periphery of this room.
Like just a scaly halo kind of thing, or
almost, except it was just almost like suspended in the air above us. Think a snake, like a
That's what I mean, like a scaly halo of
Yeah, and I don't know how I knew it because you don't. It's not like you're learning any of this stuff. It's just, it's already in your mind, right? That's why when we talk to Tyler, exactly, we're not learning anything. We're remembering things from a different realm, I guess, from our soul that we already know, or from the great record. And I knew that it was connected somehow, even though I'm brand new and this is my first time, I knew that we were all connected through this thing. So then the next morning when you do the integration, you all sit around and talk about what the experience was like for you. All 13 of us had at one point or another seen those same masks and described them identically, and then described that connection above us. And I'm a guy who grew up on atheism and math and science. So until you can show it to me, I'm not going to believe shit. And I would have chalked the entire thing up to hallucinations, like from the psilocybin mushrooms. But when everybody else was like, okay, and this is what Daniel's or this guy's mask looked like, and this is what this person's mask looked like, and it's like, holy shit. Okay. Now I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty strong introduction into the whole thing.
Yeah. And I mean, outside of my own experience, I guess just to put it out there real quick, there is extensive research now coming out of like legitimate medical schools like Johns Hopkins and I think Harvard, maybe a couple other places that are showing the real benefits of all these psychedelic drugs for the treatment of post-traumatic stress and other mental conditions.
What were you doing when were you doing ayahuasca when you did or you saw the masks?
No, that was the heart medicine, which is MDMA, and mixed with psilocybin.
Because I know when they first, like, white people started finding,
and actually, since hang on,
yeah,
while we're talking about all three, it's important to understand for people who are interested in this, like as a mental health treatment, that each one of these plants works on a different system within your body.
Yeah.
So heart medicine, MDMA, is for literally like your energetic body. Like we are electromagnetic creatures. And anybody who thinks that's bullshit, ask yourself, why does a pacemaker work? Because it regulates your electromagnetic pulses, right? So your body does create electromagnetic pulses, and that's what largely your energetic body is it's your nervous system, which stores the memory. Like there is physical storage in your body within your nervous system. So traumatic memories, whatever they may be, are also associated with emotions.
Yeah.
And you create a physical storage of those. If you don't feel that emotion out to its completion, if you do what we're all taught, which is shove it down, you got shit to do, you'll deal with it later, where does it go? It doesn't go away. It goes into storage.
That's what stress is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's stress.
And then you carry it around with you basically until you're able to access it again and feel it out to its completion. And so a lot of those end up in subconscious memories where your mind, which we'll get to, that's another system, where your mind has forgotten it, but your subconscious never does because it's always in the eternal record, right? And
the Akashic record.
The Akashic record, same thing. So what heart medicine does is MDMA actually shuts down the lobe of your brain that creates fear and hesitation and whatnot. And so it allows you to look at your deleted memories without feeling afraid.
Do you do this quiet too? What do you do? Breathing when you do heart? Like you do meditation, breathing? Do you put a wet blanket over your face?
Let me finish here.
Do you wave some glow sticks?
No, it's a microdose. It's not anyone who's equating MDMA with Molly. MDMA is a primary ingredient in Molly, but it's not the only ingredient. So it gets misconstrued as being a party drug, where used in small amounts by itself, it can be very beneficial for therapeutic purposes.
See, I always thought Molly was pure MDMA.
No,
and
Molly is
ecstasy
cocaine,
was,
and the problem with things like Molly and ecstasy is you don't really know what else is in there.
yeah. But that's why I always
That's
thought,
why you go to pillreport.com and you look at what's stamped and what color
I know
it is.
this guy Jose.
He's got
and
blue Barts.
He's got my back,
the blue
bro.
Barts.
Yeah. And if it's stamped with a heart, you know it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always bad when you got to call in for a fentanyl Monday because
So
the pill wasn't right.
So what I was saying is that your nervous system stores a record of these memories, even if your conscious mind has deleted it and pushed it away. Now there's physical storage. The MDMA allows you to turn off that fear response and the shame response. Shame is a big one. That's one that really that's why nobody will address themselves, right? Is they're afraid they're going to feel ashamed. Turn that off, then people are able to access. They don't go access the memory. They go access the feeling. You have to go into your body. That's why when you hear these therapists say, we need you to go into your body, Jordan, what they're telling you is to go into the feeling, because you don't have a memory, but you do have a feeling of it. And when you allow that feeling to come up, and then you sometimes people shake and it's almost, or sometimes they cry, sometimes they scream. There's all different ways. But what it is it's like, think like you just wiped off a counter with a rag and now it's full of crumbs. Well, you got to shake that rag out into the trash. And that's what your body's doing when you cry or sweat or shake or that's in the middle of one of these ceremonies.
Animals do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, animals do that when they're nervous.
And so do humans, but we've been taught not to cry.
Yeah, but
Shove
when
it
you're
down.
releasing something, like when you're rubbing out a huge knot that's in your arm.
I was going to say,
No, when
Come
you're
on.
rubbing out a huge knot that's in your arm, and it's like your whole hand's tingling, your fingers start moving. It's like you're releasing things in tension. That's why accident victims, there is credibility. Like at car accident victims that are all fucked up, it's like, all right, we'll work on the area, but they still have pain in those areas. Over the years, they psychologically work through the accident and what happened and the results and consequences, or the pain lessens because their mind is giving their body clearance to heal and stop storing stress in this pain area. Not only is it damaged, but I'm thinking about it.
And
being
what you
damaged.
just said is, so that's the next system is the mind. And that's where psilocybin mushrooms work. And so what psilocybin has been proven to do is increase neuroplasticity, which allows you to take what all the doctors and the sciencey people call your default mode network, which is what, if Mike Kozak is an operating system and in comes an outside stimulus, what is his default response? So those are programmed into his mind. And that's why, again, when you hear like me and Tyler talk about programs, that's what we're talking about, is these things that have been, you weren't born with them. Like when you were born on day one, you weren't there. You
were a fresh
exactly.
SD card.
Exactly. You were a blank hard drive. And then these programs start being entered. And so by increasing your neuroplasticity, you can now change those default settings to something that serves you better. And those programs, that alone that's a motherfucker and its own long discussion. But think if you were to write a list of words.
Who gets to who gets to choose these programs?
That's why parenting is so important, because how do they come to us, right? Let me back up to what I was saying. Like, write a list of words that describe you, right? Like if I were to write down hardworking, patriotic, kind, hung, just like a smoking hot sex machine.
Yeah.
And then I ask myself, were I born with any of these things other than smoking hot sex machine and hung? That's all stuff that I learned to do. None of that is authentic. And it's weird to take things that we think of as positive attributes like patriotic and hardworking and then go, wait a minute, that's not actually me. That's something I picked up somewhere I learned this. And you can start going down these rabbit holes of, do these programs serve you or are they working against you?
And then, but once it's that easy of like, serve me, keep, work against me.
It's not that what's hardest is for people the first time to let go, because it is so fucking scary for us on a subconscious level to look at ourselves, because that's what you're doing. It's all within. You're not changing the external environment at all. You're changing the internal programming.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, before we get into that, I do want to come back, but just to close it all out, ayahuasca is both, it cleanses your physical body, which is why you do so much diarrhea and puking. And then,
dude, mushrooms make me puke all the time. I could only imagine me doing ayahuasca in the humidity down there, getting the vomits and the poo-poos for 7 days straight.
Just flies everywhere.
Just from one night
it's
experience.
No, it doesn't last for 7 days. It's over.
My body lasts for 12. My body, for 40. Yeah, what was the Great Flood? For 49 days.
For 40 days and 49.
Yeah. Dude, that will be my ayahuasca experience. You know how much fucking Maalox I'm packing?
Mike went to one ceremony 6 years ago. Still has the trots.
Dude, I'm telling you. I have to be very careful the way I dose.
The crazy thing about ayahuasca is, the final one, when it comes out, you're like, oh, that was it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cue to 40 minutes later.
Shit. Oh, my mistake.
Where are the bushes? Just tripping my balls out.
I was wrong.
The amount of times, it's not crazy, but like over the years, my body has gotten more unkind to mushrooms. They give me so much more stomach pains.
Okay.
And
is that because you resist them?
No.
When it's trying
No.
to.
You know how good of a time I have puking?
Is it because so what mushrooms really do, I think, that's beneficial is they separate you from your ego. And that's another thing that if you're feeling really sick when you eat mushrooms, it's probably because you're resisting letting go of that ego vision of yourself.
Part of Mike's wild palate also comes with the sensitive tum tum.
Oh,
I have
Mr. Flaming Walk has a sensitive tummy.
I have a 12-year-old girl's stomach lining. Yeah. It's rough.
How many Kozak burgers can you eat?
A couple. But mushrooms over the years, as I've gotten older.
I've seen that tummy put to the test at the Spar Tree.
Yeah, and it did a pretty good job.
It held up okay.
Yeah, it does. But it does have sensitivity. And over the years, I love mushrooms. And but like to do like a couple grams, but then over the years it'd be like, oh, it made my stomach I did it one time with a buddy eventually, and I just puked for 4 hours straight. Not like, oh, I vomited, I'm sick, and then I need to 4 hours of just blah, blah, drink water, sit down for 20 minutes, go throw up again. And so over the years, I don't do it anymore. But I loved it before that, and then while that was happening, even though I was sick and stuff, it was a journey on itself. And it's like, you want to talk
journey to the toilet.
But you want to talk about stripping something. You're like, you want to be super.
You want to talk about ego check?
Yeah,
stripping your underwear off.
Stripping your undies in a fucking Fred Meyer parking lot and having to walk inside and ask for the bathroom key.
You want to be vulnerable. Yeah. Can't control your stomach, constantly vomiting, tripping your balls out, having
you're a baby
mind blowing. Yeah.
I mean,
but it's like, even though it was horrible, I look back and it's like, that sucks so much, but it's like mentally and stuff. It made me think about relationships and discomfort stuff I was in. And I backed off. The last time I microdosed, I put all the flooring in 3 rooms in 2 days.
Okay.
I ate 2 chocolates, and it was I'm snapping flooring together left and right.
That's meth, Mike.
Yeah. But
got it done.
Got her done. Right. Yeah.
Didn't sleep.
But it does. So, it is an experience no matter what. And the
physical discomfort is directly related to resisting whatever it is that it's trying to show you. And then, okay, so now to bring it all real quick, it's 3 systems, 3 medicines. You have energetic body, heart medicine, you have the mind and psilocybin mushrooms, and you have your physical body and ayahuasca.
Where does cocaine come in?
That's your.
Where do we go
that's
to do
that's
that?
your club body.
Yeah, my what?
It's your club body.
Yeah. I thought you said clum. User clum.
Yeah.
That's my energy source.
Yeah. And so let me think. That was in 2022, and then Jen and I split. Jen and I split pretty quick after that.
You're going. So when you do the MDMA, I said earlier, what are you doing? Are you sitting with a sexy silk blanket over your face again? Are you doing breathing and meditation exercises?
Meditation.
Are you interacting
Guided meditation.
and doing?
But yes, with a mask over your face.
Oh, okay. And how long do you do it for?
Time kind of doesn't exist. I would say it was several hours.
How long is the place?
From start to beginning, the ceremony was probably 7 or 8 hours each night.
And then is it one dosage or multiple over the night?
Multiple.
Yeah. And how so you're there for day?
So this
days?
particular veteran ceremony, I was there for 2 days. The ones I participate in now, near here, are a single day.
Okay.
And a lot of times we all sleep there just because they wrap up really late, like midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, it's already a comfy, cozy place. Just pull a blanket over you and you go to sleep.
Yeah.
But you can. It's not like alcohol where you have a hangover. When the effects wear off, they're just gone.
Yeah. It is cleaner. I remember allegedly doing some ecstasy, and you could tell, like, sometimes you get it and it was like, this is amazing and it feels super nice and clean. You wake up the next day and you're like, oh, that was such a fun day. And then sometimes you would wake up and it was like, I think I just took rat poison.
Right.
Last
Okay. So
night,
if you take too much MDMA, it causes a dopamine drop in your system.
You can have a serotonin
over the following
depletion.
Or is it serotonin? Sorry, but we don't take anywhere near that much.
Yeah.
That's again why,
You're
like, every time I've ever talked about
to-
it with Mike immediately assumes party drug, because that is the public sort of.
No.
Yeah, you do.
There is
that is the
but
public sort of
that was it back in the
idea
day.
of what MDMA is, because of Molly and ecstasy and the club scene. But this is basically like a microdose, and you are sort of aware of it vaguely, but you're not. It would be incorrect to say you get high.
Yeah, but there is clinical level MDMA or whatever the actual chemical compound of that is pure. Just like there's like clinical cocaine that is just pure.
This comes from this is tested,
and that's what you want. And that just doing that, like you said, no hangover.
Well, it depends on the dosage. You can't do a bunch and get high and then expect to feel good the next day.
Yes, true.
So
you drink a bunch of.
Mike's literally like going in circles on party drug mode and going like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not."
That's because you didn't drink enough orange juice.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yeah, your calcium
because
is getting depleted.
when you do like ayahuasca and stuff, they want you to like eat a certain diet and get clean and get ready for the things you're going to consume to work better for you.
Yes.
Like, do you do prep work like? Certain vitamin, like there are things you take
they say
for
to
that.
eat clean the week leading into it, but part of that is just setting your own intention. Like if you're like, fuck it, I'm going to go get fucking
but what
wasted.
about like 5-HTP and like brain like because you're working.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Supplements,
nootropics. I can't answer. I don't know.
Because if what that does, that is mental sparring and stuff, and there, you're exerting a lot of brain energy and effort.
Nootropics would be beneficial to the.
When I've done stuff, or gotten into float tanks and doing breathing and stuff.
That is a wild fucking crazy.
No,
thing.
but we're going.
Here's another thing is that all of this sort of like self-reflection and whatnot is possible without any of this substance. It's just all the substance are basically like a cheat code to kick you 5 or 10 years down the therapy road and just get you to the finish line faster.
No, it shows you it makes you
can
mentally
go study in a monastery for 30 years in the Hindu or in the Himalaya, or you can go to a ceremony and use some plant medicine and get a little, a little speed or a little shortcut.
Wormhole.
Yeah, exactly. Wormhole.
For a little bit, but then you come back, and then it's up to you whether you change.
Exactly.
You maybe have seen things or thought about things reflected, but it's still you to change a course.
Yeah, the only thing we're able to change is the internal environment.
Well, that's fucking Alan Watts, right? Like, once you answer, or like once you get the message, quit answering the phone. You know what I mean? And it's like you're being shown something over and over, and you've listened to it, but you keep picking up and not doing anything. The real success is identify it and actually walk away and quit picking up already. That phone. Yeah.
But we kind of blind ourselves to our problems because we don't want to address them. So this is, again, in these ceremonies, people have these aha moments where they're like, it's like their glaring problem that everybody else can see suddenly becomes clear to them, and they go, "Oh shit, that's how I got here."
Yeah, but then like you said, you change it.
Right, now that you're aware of a problem, now you can change your actions. You've also changed your default mode settings, so now
but you can do that without the MDMA.
Sure,
you just got to work at it.
Yeah, it takes years and years and years and dedication. You'll need a good therapist, which I don't know how you know if one's good or not, or a good teacher. But yeah, it's completely possible.
Interesting. Do you think that it would be?
I think everybody listening to this should immediately start with breath work, whether you think that plant medicine is for you or not, or you're a no substance kind of person. Everybody should start doing breath work.
Yeah, breathing.
Do you think one would last more than the other?
No, because what the plant medicine ceremonies do for me is they show me what can be and what is actually real, and it motivates me. I'm like, holy shit, okay.
Yeah, lights the fire.
Yeah, exactly. And it also changes just sort of like your perceptions of everything. To where you let now the external environment has less effect on me. I'm less concerned about it. Like today when we were texting about like getting together to record, and I was like, I'm so fucking checked out from pop culture because I don't look at anything on my phone anymore. Sometimes I look at Twitter just almost out of like obligation because I know there's big like.
Wait, you didn't watch the RFK confirmation hearings today, Tobin?
But when you have become so comfortable with regulating your internal environment, and you realize maybe we do have a nuclear war tomorrow, but they won't affect my internal environment. Will be regulated right up to the moment I die. And there's nothing anybody can really do to knock. I shouldn't say there's nothing anybody can do to knock me off of it, because I definitely get tripped up. And I've like, even just last week, like I was in a shitty mood because Tyler and I were trying to go after basically a self-worth wound that I have. And we triggered it, which brought it up, and it was like bubbling under the surface, but we didn't get to it. So it was just, no, you're never really completely fixed, but you have to start somewhere, and you just go after, it's like an onion, and you just start peeling those layers, and you peel them and you peel them and you peel them. And the more you peel, the more you enjoy your fucking life, because you start recognizing what is authentic Mike, or what is authentic Tobin, what is authentic Jordan. And when you start living your life in that, I hate some of these words like healing and wounds and authentic and blah, blah, blah. They get so overused by the, like the ceremony. There's a whole genre of like ceremony bro and ceremony girl who are out there trying to be social media influencers, and they're talking about their healings and their trauma, and they're living in their authentic light. And it's like, ugh. And so to guys like me who wear construction jeans and shit kickers, that turns us off. So I try not to talk like that, but there are times when you just have to say it.
So like, what's totally going on right now, you guys? Oh shit.
But anyway, having these wounds triggered, which brings them to the surface, is how you can then identify them. And once you identify them, then you can deal with them, and then that layer of onion just sort of falls away. And it's no longer.
Do you forget about the wound?
Sometimes, yes, because especially if it's a program that wasn't yours to begin with, again, you're born a blank slate. somebody else puts all of this into your mind, whether it's your parents or your education system or the books you read or the shit you look at on your iPhone or on movies and whatnot. And I have absolutely had long conversations in ceremonies where I couldn't remember a damn thing about it because we were removing programs that didn't serve me. And once you hit delete on that file, it's gone.
Fucking A, dude.
The thing that would
Heavy night of drinking. That's
Similar thing. The same thing, brother.
the thing that would scare me about going to one of these things would be going there with a bunch of fucking, like you said, your last one was a bunch of special ops guys or veterans. Mm-hmm. Dude, I need to go with a group of paper boys. My damage to let out, like my upsetness, does not match what other people.
What he's saying is, authentic Mike wants to wear a tutu and turn little pirouettes in the corner, and he doesn't want us to make fun of him.
My mask, my mask is masking my vagina. Yeah, dude, that would freak me out.
But 100% because
it's like
damage
that would just be
damage, right?
But that would be just I would just be there being like you would hear stories. Maybe during talking or reflection, or I don't know, say what the drug is and you're talking to people. And it's like hearing the stories, the pain, the loss, it would be so emotionally pulling from anything that I've ever had in my life. Maybe it would benefit me to do something like that and hear someone else's true sorrows more. My sorrows are very surface level and superficial.
But 100% of your issues are 100% of your issues, right? Yes. Like, it doesn't matter.
The worst thing that ever happened to you is the worst thing that ever happened to you.
But hearing those, exactly. So I know what I know. So if I can hear it from someone else, wouldn't that give me more perspective and depth and understanding emotionally of what they've gone through?
I think what the problem would be is you're not giving yourself enough credit in the fact that like you are feeling 100% of your issue, right? And whether or not it's somebody who's gone through some fucking crazy traumatic shit, or you had
we're usually not aware of the issues we're carrying, right? Yeah. And so it's the real secret.
I feel it in my foot. I store it in my foot.
The trick is becoming aware of them so you can deal with them, right?
Yeah.
And so the reality is everybody's walking around going like, me included, I am the poster child for this because for all these years I said, no, I'm good. I went to war for 10 years and I have no PTSD. Yeah, I'm good. I'm cool. And it was 15 years later that I went, oh, fuck. Yeah. Check that box. You know what? All 32 of those, do you experience? Go ahead and check those. Yeah. Right. And so literally everybody who sits like, and here's the funny thing now that I'm a few years deep into this, I start to recognize when other people are in their wound and they're talking to me, and it's like a shell. In fact, that's exactly what I would call it. It's a shell of programs where you can almost hear they're telling you their problems without realizing they're doing it. And so that's another like, I don't want to say, but it's not necessarily
that's why they say it though.
It's their subconscious is asking.
Bring it up, and then they're
asking for help.
Yeah, well, that's probably the reason I'm having an issue.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what I mean. Like, that's just talking, right? That's just conversation.
But most people, we can't see past the shell because part of our program is to recognize other people's programs, because that's where like this tribalism comes from. Like, hey, you're wearing a Seahawks sweatshirt, you're my friend. 49er sweatshirt,
go fuck yourself.
Get fucked. Twice a year, maybe in the playoffs. Yeah. The rest of the time, you're cool.
Tribalism. I hate both y'all.
Yes. So you sort of see those shells that people put on their outside, and that's kind of what the ego is, right? The ego is what you want other people. It's both what you want to think of yourself and what you want other people to think of you and see you as. So the ego creates that shell, and sometimes that shell works for you, and sometimes it doesn't. Or it's more gray area where parts of it do and parts of it don't. But as you start to get more in touch with your own self-conscious and your own authentic self, then you start to recognize when you're talking to someone's shell or when you're talking to someone's authentic subconscious.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear then you start, it's almost like translating.
They're putting up bullshit. You just feel like they're putting up bullshit.
Yes.
You sense bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons I've always had very short patience for people who are full of shit is because I know it immediately. And I didn't really recognize in the past what this gift was. I just thought I was grouchy. Yeah. But the reality is I know I'm talking to a shell that is nowhere near authentic. And it's like, I don't have time for this person. I'll just sort of walk off. And people are like, that guy's an asshole. Yeah, he doesn't listen. Yeah. But the reality is I see through the bullshit and I understand what's actually underneath it. I don't know. We're kind of jumping ahead now to where I'm at currently. Yeah, there's a whole middle part in there too.
I think that like the communication is like, I think that's probably the biggest portion of this all, right? And having people who can recognize what it is.
And that's, hang on. Jordan's 100% correct. Not
to open.
No, communication is all of it. What it is, what these teachers are, what these quote unquote healers are, is people who can recognize what your subconscious is saying, even when you don't. Yeah. And then you sort of, this is what we do with the talk therapy piece, is we guide people. We're like, okay, I see what you're trying to communicate to me. Now I'm going to help your conscious mind get there. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like a deep conversation. Like a truly like sitting down and having a meaningful,
multiple conversations.
Yeah. It's you're going to have conversations the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Conversations.
100%.
And that's just how you get through stuff. But, what happens when, who gets to say what the program is that you're running and who gets to say what's the good program?
Ultimately you.
But the in doing so, that's, I guess, where
you're saying, could someone manipulate you?
Well, absolutely, people can manipulate you.
I think in the end they cannot, because at the end of the day, this is maybe the most important lesson, is when you start to recognize your like what is and is not authentically you, then you just know, is it true or is it not? And you can ask yourself, is this true or is it not? And
fact or feeling? Is it story or reality? Yeah,
exactly. And so once you can recognize yourself, and nobody else can do this, like nobody can tell you yes or no, nobody can influence authentic you. In authentic you is completely immune from manipulation.
Well, I would because you're comfortable in that.
Yes.
Knowing.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But I have no doubt people try.
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely believe they're out there.
Yeah, little fucking swindlers out there all day long. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where some of this gets such a bad rap, I think. Yeah, but also therapists as well.
And therapists are not necessarily healers. A lot of them, I mean, they're just college graduates in psychology, right?
Yeah, but
who have an interest,
right?
in that.
Some people are in there.
Therapists.
There's a lot of people.
Here's the other thing: if they haven't solved their own issues, then all they're actually going to do is trigger other people's who have the same issue. Like attracts like. And so, for example, in relationships, we tend to be drawn to people who have a similar issue to ourselves. And then if you're not aware of that particular issue, you will sit in this like revolving cycle of triggering each other. And you can't break it. You won't leave each other because like attracts like. And so you just sit there and fucking bounce off of each other until one of you heals that fucking issue, heals that wound, and breaks the cycle.
You think that's why they say opposites attract for like marriage? You want someone that's
I think that's actually completely false. I think
somebody with a fucking magnet made that up.
Yeah.
They're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm going to cancel that plane ticket to Nigeria for my new wife.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is, have you guys ever heard of Walter Russell? Maybe we should read that book next.
I need a new book, dude.
He wrote
when are we going to do?
The war books just hurt me.
Why?
We can just pass over that one, go to the next one. Mike wants to talk about it. Well, we should have fucking done it tonight, Mike.
That's on me. Yeah. Sorry.
Next time.
Continue.
Vietnam.
Yeah. So I was in there fucking shooting all of them.
It's a good book.
Oliver North.
It's an interesting story.
Colonel Hackett.
Turned around and made what was it?
Hackworth. David Hackworth. That's what it was.
Yeah. Turned around a unit that was beyond
just ragtag,
disrepair and made it
shit performance.
Amazing.
Yeah, dude, it's called Mulan. Watch it.
Rice patty daddy. Go fuck yourself.
Oh my God. All right. I lost my train of thought.
So the thought of being able to have having conversations with people that allow you to understand that what it is, not that what it is the issue at hand, but the feeling that stems from whatever the situation was or experience was.
Yeah, it's usually something more broad. Like, it's not like you're going to know an exact situation. What you'll know is person A does not have a feeling of security. Like, like in life in general, they do not feel safe, right? Or what else? I'm sure there's a lot of like feminine stuff.
But that's part of like the thing, right? Trying to get down, pinpointing where it was, understanding it,
a lot of
and
it,
allowing that.
Yes. And a lot of it, like for military guys like me, is blocking away like the feminine half of your spirit, right? Because everyone's spirit is 50-50. That's why the yin yang, right? Yeah, Mike's is like
a little heavy.
Yeah, he's a little 50.
My guy's got a little sugar in the tank over there.
A little 52-48.
Yeah.
It's a good Zima.
A little mango tango
strawberry wine
over there.
Just really fucked him up.
I'm a real man, damn it. Give me another pineapple mandarin.
I was
lemonade.
Born this way, you guys.
Hey, and you're nailing
and
it,
I'm
brother.
your friend, so you have to accept me. DEI.
And you know what? You came up with the chili relleno on a cheeseburger, so we accept you, brother.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, that's I think the biggest part of all of it, right? Is like acceptance for all your other people.
That's acceptance of yourself, because once you stop judging yourself, you realize how fucking stupid it is to judge other people, because they are they've either figured it out and
Or
they're
in the midst
living
of it.
in their own true, authentic whatever, or they're living in their fucking wounds, and then you start to have some compassion for them.
Yeah.
And that's where you find yourself now trying to help other people.
Yeah. But that, I mean, I think that you'll find children that are in that a lot more.
And this is why like little kids are so fun, is because the programming has not been complete yet, and so they are still living in so much like authentic like when they're just charging around being crazy. That's them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they get to run with that for as long as possible, and when they can sidestep a bunch of bullshit or even hit it, and then still deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen kids do some amazing shit by the time they're 13, 14, 15. They're still in it.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know.
I think that's why we inherently know that the innocence of children is to be protected. Like everybody who's not like a fucking psychopath agrees on that.
Yeah. Well, kids have always been number one throughout history.
But why? Where did that come from? Were you taught that, or were we born with that?
No, that's an inherent.
Yes, we were born with that.
That's it. But that's everything. That's your lineage, though. That's what propagates you into the future. Is that thing. And so it is the most coveted thing to hold in this world, is what you reproduce.
Yeah. And so that is a truth, right? And you know that because it hits, like it hits it. There's the way it hits you. You go, that's fucking true. No argument with that.
Yeah.
And so you start to starting to kind of recognize that as well. Like sometimes somebody will say something to you and it just kind of stops you, and you're like, that whatever they just said to me, that was true. And you just know it in your bones. And so and I think we've been taught to shut down that intuition and just go with our sort of like 5 physical, mechanical senses. But we have more senses than 5.
Do you feel that the military aided in that at all? Because
military programming is all masculine energy, and it completely shuts down. So feminine energy is your creative side. So when everything is protocols and checklists.
Hang on. Not aided the problem, but aided like enhancing, like, you could probably tell.
Shut this down.
No, you could probably tell when bad situations were about to happen.
My intuition, and I didn't even know that I was listening to it back then. But it's okay, perfect example of a sense that's not one of the five senses.
Yes.
When you realize something is off and the hair on the back of your neck stands up.
Hunting is the closest I could ever imagine when you're like, there's something I'm trying to kill around me and I feel it between my shoulder blades. And yeah, my neck hair stands up. And then you're like, all of a sudden you bump animal and you're like, oh, holy shit.
I knew it. I knew it was there before, but you've been taught to not listen to that.
Do you feel that AIDS, like those experience, like that's a connected system? Like
the disease of homosexuals.
Yeah. No, they got it. They got it, but that's their own fault.
No, but that's a connected.
That's how you know it comes from the butt.
No, my boys. Yeah. But do you think that's a connected thing, like rooting out bullshit? Like as you get older, not like that.
You just gotta get in there, root it out.
Man, it's really stuck up in there, brother.
Not like that.
How deep is the AIDS?
Yeah,
so deep. Yeah. I'll show you.
That could be a South Park episode. That if you don't have, if you're gay and you don't have AIDS, we know your dick's shorter than 5 inches.
Yeah, if you don't go past 4 inches, you're all in the clear. Just rim the shit out of it.
So plant medicine and emotional healing.
And this is our podcast too, buddy. Come on, give me some.
Well, yeah.
Lord.
Well, do you think?
What were you asking about AIDS?
So having intuitions like that, where you had experience, I never got
Was he not talking about AIDS at all?
Not at all.
You guys brought it up.
Yeah.
So having experiences when you could sense bad things were happening.
Yeah.
When I was 28, 29, 30-ish, sometime around then, I first started hunting. And I went out and I just got mixed in a bunch of animals instantly. We drove all the way out to the woods and I got like into a herd of elk. And it was like right before it happened, my body was like, there's something right next to me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the forest just lit up. And it was like, it was 2 more days of that. And I learned how to start bumping animals. It's like, dude, you could feel shit around you. And I went home and I thought about that experience a lot because it was like there are certain intuitions that I had never felt like on a, like, just this is a truth that's about to happen that I can feel. Like I can feel the sun is on my skin, but I don't have to see it to know. I just know it's happening, you know? And when you said earlier, the process of eliminating bullshit, right? Getting it out of your life. It makes me kind of think like in my 40s, as I get older and as I kind of piece a lot of this stuff together, it is a lot about picking and choosing for me, like what does and doesn't work. Like what I constantly, like I'm going over my head in, it's like the better way I kind of like my life is a process of elimination in certain ways, like living a minimalist, but that's also mentally and physically in certain ways. I only have so much time to put into what I want. You know, if everyone else's approval granted me the opportunity to do that, I would have never done jujitsu. Show me the parade that has supported me through my whole life to do jiu-jitsu other than my training
Some
partners.
ego is good.
Yeah,
because it drives
you have to.
do
Of
things.
course, because we're here physically.
Saying ego is all bad is not correct. Ego is necessary,
but
having it in check is also necessary.
Maintained.
But part of it too, like that ego, learning what works for you, what doesn't, what does hurt you, what are you accepting. Like in my 40s, I'm truly finding like it is more refinement. Your 20s is you're open, you're taking everything in. Your 30s,
a couple dents in her.
Yeah. But it's your
Open her up a little bit out on the back 40.
It's your radar dish is open, and then your 30s is like, all right, I'm starting to pick a path. There's mountains all around, and I'm starting to pick a path. And
Fewer dense, but when you get them, they're deeper.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I'm hitting. I'm going far.
We're going a little faster.
And then my 40s, I do feel there is a lot like bullshit is I don't have, this is, I guess I'm becoming an old man too, but life is better when you deal with less bullshit. And the older I feel, the older I get, I do feel that radar of bullshit has been going off more, you know? And I mean, we're all this generation and like the world's been falling kind of apart and the news is like, it's cool. Everything's awesome, but just stay home and don't kill black people. And you're like, okay.
Is that a truth?
Yeah. But yeah, I feel you can tell when things are being lied to you way easier. And you see so many younger people for a cause. And what you're seeing is those people in their 20s that haven't experienced or learned yet. They're not able to get to a point where they can reflect and understand and have the time to process ideas and coincide with their life and who they are and what, you know. I don't know. You got me talking about drugs and experience and life and thought. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that I just keep thinking like as you're talking and like the authentic self or deprogramming and how much more time you will get if you manage to do that.
Yeah.
Because of how if you're not operating, it's like when you're driving a car and you wake up and you're like, oh, how the hell did I get here?
Yeah.
But that's through every
That's
interaction
life.
in your life.
Yeah.
And the deeper you get into that, the more pushback you get, the more you do it. And then you wake up and it's like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah.
And then you find like on the other side of it, you're like, oh, I haven't been living at all. Like I've been following.
I think
this
another what you just brought up that's really brilliant too is another thing you can do for yourself for people who don't want to do any or use any kind of substance is declutter your life, like simplify your activities. You have to go to work, you have to eat, you have to do a few things. Cut it down to like one
Half the amount
hobby,
of
get
people.
rid of all your shit. Yeah, exactly. I guarantee you, almost all of us have a whole lot of people in our life who bring negative, like a net negative. And those people need to be cut away as well.
Wait, no.
They're not in like a harsh
Yes.
way. It doesn't mean you have to be like, fuck you, motherfucker, we're not friends. It's like,
Release.
yeah.
Thank you
But
for your time.
But there's
Marie
a difference. There's a difference.
Prioritize yourself, I guess is what I'm saying. And that might mean telling them no thanks.
But there's a difference between having those people in your life and you pick them, or those people are in your life and you have to deal with them. Like coworkers, shit bosses, shit
Yeah.
people
but-
like
And
that.
that's where it's important
A
to
neighbor.
regulate the
Yeah,
internal environment.
That's
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
That's when it's important to
So
have a little
if
bit
you're-
of that.
but that's
those
what I mean.
programs to throw up.
But that's eliminating the bullshit as you get older into like in my 40s. It's like the people I hang out with are the people because I want to. In my 20s and my 30s, I
Find
like this
yourself hanging
person.
around a prick all the
Yeah,
time.
and then it's like they're friends here, and it's like this guy's an asshole, and these people kind of aren't what I want to be around. Eliminating bullshit in my life too in my 40s is like, yeah, picking the people you want to be around. I shouldn't have anyone in my circle I don't want to be hanging out with. That should be the point.
Yep.
And you should understand that.
And
Not you guys, sorry.
Yeah, no. We're in your garage. I hope that we're in your circle.
Yeah, dude. Golly.
Get
that's-
out.
Yeah, triangle at least here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's truly like something that I think as you come up through school, I mean, look at the fucking poor kids just get riddled with fucking just, bullshit
Yeah.
all day from teachers,
Gender affirmations.
from
and
fucking,
Yeah.
from other kids, from
that's all. Were they born understanding there's 32 genders, or is that something that they had to learn? That's obviously something they had to learn. So that's not authentic.
Yeah. So, but I mean, all the authentic stuff, what is the authentic stuff, right?
What do you mean?
That programming that you're talking about, that being your authentic self, that base level of who you are, the spirit that's in your body.
So none of the programs
doesn't
are
have
authentic.
That's what I'm
Even
trying
the good
to say.
ones.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like it's all chosen.
Yes.
So you get to choose who you want to be and how you
Correct.
want to be.
Correct.
And with that comes that,
Power.
who do I want?
Yeah.
Yes. But that also gives you the time because you're present, right? And you're in the moment way more. And you can actually get through your fucking life if you do it that way. But like in the movie Click, when he wants to fast forward through the bullshit, and then all of a sudden that remote fucking breaks, and now he's fast forwarding through all the good shit. His kids grow up, and he's just like, fuck. And, you know, have you guys seen that movie with Adam Sandler? That's exactly what happened.
What's that chick's name in there? Jeez.
I don't know. Time.
What's the clicker?
I've never seen Click.
You've never seen Click? You want to fucking cry?
Hang on. It's the vampire girl from the...
Buffy?
No, it's somebody else.
Not
dude.
Blade.
Yeah.
It looked like it's a movie like Blade, but it's like the vampires fighting werewolves.
Dagger.
We are like the worst. This is okay. Remember when you were saying we're becoming old men? Yeah. All right. So anyway, hot vampire chicks in the movie Click.
Yep. Well, and that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Let's take a pee break. Coming back.
But
and we're back.
He's gonna be so lonely.
He may be lonely, but that's it. That's
That's his lot in life. That's his truth.
Yeah. And he's gonna find out that, you know.
I don't like this talk.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. No, certainly not about what you're talking about, but we'll see about how lonely Watson gets. Because he won't have the option. I don't know, dude. I think that we were talking authentic self, truth, the shell time you're getting back, living in the moment because you're running less programs.
I got a question. Here we go.
Yeah.
Do you always do this in a group ceremony? Do you ever get to do it like a one-on-one or solo, or
So
just with like
the person who I would
a
call
holder?
The person I would call our teacher has sent me like into the woods by myself before, and then you can schedule a private ceremony with someone like Tyler.
Someone sent you into the woods by yourself.
Yeah, literally on
I know, but it just sounds funny.
Yeah.
Someone writes you a prescription and they're just like go
Fly
walk
off.
in the woods.
Yeah. Which honestly, how much of America needs exactly that?
Mushrooms in the woods are fun, but it's just funny to hear it. But you never get to do, it's like you never do a one-on-one and you have someone there coach. And
yes, I have.
Is that way better than group, or it's just different?
It's much more intense. And so it's one of those things
directed,
where,
right?
Yeah. So you have to be prepared for it first. So
do you like that more than
it's not a, you got to slow down. Let me finish. It's
me slow down. Good luck. I'm already finished.
Most people are not going to be ready for that one-on-one right off the bat. So you have to go to the groups first and sort of, you have to figure out if you're even willing and courageous enough to look at yourself. And then if you are, then you can actually schedule that one-on-one, but it's 12 hours of fucking looking at your own shit.
Is it one dose or multiple?
Multiple.
Because they're small. So the idea is not to get you high and then have you go down. The idea is to turn off fear and shame.
There. Well, I mean, I was saying, have you ever done it that you've only done it solo with Heart?
Yes. I mean, hang on. So I've eaten mushrooms by myself.
No. With a holder, a guide, someone to hold presents.
What about that? Yes, I've done.
You've only done that with Heart medicine. You've never done it with mushrooms.
No, I have. I've done mushroom ceremonies and ayahuasca ceremonies also.
Solo. Like
ayahuasca never solo.
I just mean no one else taking it except for you or the person holding presents.
So he's done it with mushrooms and he's done it with heart medicine. And never with ayahuasca because ayahuasca is a party drug.
Okay.
You guys want to get fucked up tonight?
Boof it.
Why would they do that?
Yeah. You know how hard it is to get a ladle of ayahuasca up there?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
As deep as the AIDS?
I got a funnel and a handstand.
Because is ayahuasca Brazilian?
South
American.
Amazonian.
Could you imagine like the guy trying to like keister ayahuasca to get it into the Amazonian prisons?
Breaks.
Just like
spirit.
He's got a gum tree condom. He's got on there. Just fucking.
The world just turns into a fireball.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry, I took it there. You could probably fit so much up there.
It is weird that
Nothing?
is in everything though. DMT is in everything that's organic or green or living or you know.
All right.
It's just you can't absorb it. unless you have
What's it, 5-MAO inhibitor?
an inhibitor. Yeah, to stop what your brain produces.
Which that in itself is an interesting little factoid. Like the number of ingredients that are required to actually make ayahuasca, it's like 13 different plants that all grow in different like corners of the Amazonian rainforest. And so for someone to have figured that out the first time couldn't have been accidental. It had to be someone with some advanced knowledge.
Yeah. Some
fucking
alchemy?
shaman or alchemist or something.
Some fucking bird just happened to fucking be grabbing all of it and dropping it in a nest, and they were like, "What's that shit?" And then they put it all together.
Let's boil it and make tea.
Yeah, they were like trying to make an egg.
This tastes like shit. Let's keep drinking it.
Yeah, and they're like, holy shit,
it's the worst taste on planet Earth.
Interesting.
No.
Mix it with a little Robitussin.
Ugh. Yeah. Robitussin is far better.
So it just tastes like
Rub some
mud.
tussin on it.
I don't know how to just. The only thing I can say is I always laugh and say I'm actually afraid of a flavor.
Really?
There's a flavor out there that scares me. It's the flavor of ayahuasca.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do it.
You should.
I've done allegedly mushrooms, all right, LSD, did peyote one time. What else hard? I mean, I've done the Malian stuff, but it wasn't like raver times or doing stuff like that. It was
Masturbating alone.
No, I had the ultimate college experience where I had like a lot of friends that were going for like writing and science and computers, and it's like it's about literature and thought. And I would go with them to the ocean, and we would take drugs and like write the manifestos and like talk to. But it was just crazy, intellectual drug, and it was like this is nuts, life's nuts, and it was fun. It was a unique thing, but ayahuasca would be an interesting one to do. I would love to do that.
Okay. I know a guy.
But my tummy is the only thing holding me back.
Maybe your tummy leads a little physical
blowout. Don't worry. Just did it. Didn't help.
chili relleno burgers.
God, I just don't, like I said, the mushrooms, like as I do them as I get older, all I do is throw up for hours and hours. It's like, God, I don't want to pay money to drink a hallucinogen and have diarrhea for 9 hours straight.
Yeah, it's definitely a short-term pain for long-term gain. And that is, but it's scary. People are, I was legitimately, in fact, I think I still would be afraid. And I've been in like 4 or 5 ayahuasca ceremonies.
Oh, dude, even when you do mushrooms.
Does it taste different? Have you ever been like, this one's a little...
It always is awful.
Yeah, but
and I'm sure it is different. Yeah. I don't know. It just
You're
tastes
like,
awful.
this old fucking
I don't really
friend.
care. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Should do it like a Jaeger bomb.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
yeah, but
it
you don't
is
like
a Dixie
mushrooms
cup
either, yeah.
Yeah, mushrooms taste awful too.
Fucking liar, dude.
Put them in chili.
Some mushroom chili.
Or just suck it up and eat them.
Yeah,
no.
or put them on pizza.
Or make tea.
That's true. It would be fun to make a big like
Tyler's tea is
artisan potted
delicious.
spaghetti.
Do what?
Make like a big artisan potted
I should put them
spaghetti.
in my mom's fucking coffee grinder.
Whoa.
That would be hilarious.
Jesus Christ, that's dark. I was just there was somebody who a guy at work. A guy at work was telling me, my buddy dosed his dad
Oh, without telling him?
without telling him.
Yeah. So
And
I think then you can put people into some scary situation because they don't understand what's happening.
yeah, no shit. And his son was just out of his mind, like laughing, and then all of a sudden he was like, "What?" He was like, "Ha, ha, ha, you're gonna start feeling something," and he started telling him, but he was like, "Son of a bitch."
That does suck. Getting ready for work. All of a sudden.
No, it was a camp trip. They're all sitting on fire.
Windows taste like schnozberries.
Yeah. Just feeling it in the shower. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too much for me.
Did we cover it all in an hour?
Kind of feels like it. We knocked quite a bit out. I think that there's ways to get there, right? Like, Yeah, we knocked it out.
No, I mean, hey man, I give credence to both. I think there's a lot you can do through like having someone, even just family members, people, like you have to think and reflect upon your life so it can grow. And certain things happen and people will build blockages and they put up these little barriers and walls. And as life continues on and you stack, it becomes things that become habit and then problem. And then now it's a dilemma or tick in life that you use, you know? And I think there's ways to fix it. And all that fixing it is making the individual conceptualize and realize what is happening in this current moment. And usually it takes a lot of time, and I do think there's a lot of validity that goes into having springboards like an intense thought trip, like a heart ceremony, like taking mushrooms and doing something with intent. And yeah, just resetting. It's like when you get in a fight with your spouse and then you're like, let's just go to sleep. It's you fought for like 4 hours and then you go to bed and you wake up and you're both like, I'm sorry. You know?
I have morning wood.
Yeah. But you both have a night to sleep and calm down and think about it. I think it's also like that. It gives you an ability to use a different prism in life sometimes, or be forced to show just
you
a different
look
way
at
of
yourself
thinking.
from a different perspective,
Yeah.
which is without ego. And so you can objectively look at yourself.
Do they ever do it with weed? Is there cannabis ceremonies where you just eat a shit ton of edibles?
No, not that I'm aware of.
That'd take you to a different fucking world there.
That's
Just be sitting on the couch staring at each other going,
no.
Oh man.
No. Oh, a guided ceremony, you do some chanting. You know how fucking into it we could get on edibles? You could take 200 milligrams just to start it off.
like 2 packs of gummies.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But that's how you do
Just
it.
eating them like Starburst.
Shouldn't you be scared though? That is a trip though, because you know it works different. When you eat weed, it's different than smoking.
Yeah, it hits your body instead of your mind, it seems like.
Yeah.
So.
But it does hit your mind too.
Fuck.
All right. Well, we are running out of steam here. I'm fucking shooting this old dog in the head and putting it out of its misery. This is a serious topic, and this stuff has had immense benefit for a lot of people who are suffering from all kinds of mental conditions. And so people who are interested in this and want to reach out with questions or ask for more information, you can email me at trainingnorthwest@protonmail.com. And for all you lazy fucks who listen to this show and have not gone to the reviews in Spotify and iTunes and given us a review, for fuck's sake, go do it.
Shame. Much shame.
Shame.
Shame. All right.
Shame.
Good night, everybody.